Particularly for the 1952 Princeton grad. And so when I was a young artist in the Metropolitan Opera program, we used to come to his, he liked to come in and go to his reunions, and I would take the train out. And so I have a little bit of a love for Princeton, and I've taught for the Yaps over at, before Opera New Jersey folded. I did a lot of work there, master classes. And so that's a real pleasure to be here. And the next set that we're going to be singing are poems by Miss Ellen Peckham. What a joy to be singing your words this evening. Thank you for that honor. I hope I do it a just job.
So far,
no pressure. Just have the poet sitting and the composer. You know. No pressure.
We're not paying for it.
So,
I didn't really think about it when I come to
kind of a funny story. My dad sadly left us in 2003, and we still have his ashes. I guess nobody can part with them. I don't know. But my mother called me and said, "Hey, before your Princeton concert, do you think you could take some of your dad's ashes over to Princeton University?" And I'm thinking to myself, I can't do that. And then sing the Busby, you know, because there's a lot in here for me. I don't think I could handle that. So the ashes had to wait. So I thought you'd find that funny. Martin has ties to Princeton.
Well, I was born in Newtown in Bucks County across the river. And I still have a book that I nicked from the Princeton Library when I was doing a term paper in 12th grade at Council Rock High School. Anyway, we're very happy to be here, and really, we just wanted to express our thanks to Leo and Irena, who I just adore these two people, and I'm so happy that I met them at Ellen and Gerald's sort of co-musical, poetic, artistic exhibition. At they had a gallery in Old Philadelphia, and it was just a really remarkable experience, I have to say. And I'm just so happy that you've had us here, and I'm so happy to be able to introduce you to one of my musical loves of my life, Heidi Skok. Wow.
Thank
Did you want to say anything about the
Ellen
or the wall?
No, the four point. I think they're. What are they? I don't know. No, not really. It's just working with Ellen is so wonderful because particularly the way she handled her dear husband Anson. I met them first 40 years ago when they had a house on Jane Street in New York. In the village, in the West Village. Ellen was famous for her parties, and I had a close friend who was a neighbor of Ellen. He said, "Oh, you've got to go. Ellen and Anson are having a party. Like, whoa, this is an event, you know. This is like San Gennaro. This one, but it was very elegant. Not like that. I mean, in spirit. No, it's elegant. It's elegant and everything you might. And Ellen has always meant that to me. Her artistry is everywhere, in her house, in her apartment, around her words. And so anyway, I didn't meet her again until many years later, and her husband had just passed, Anson, and I just lost my partner to AIDS, and we were in this kind of incredible place, and her poems, one you'll hear, particularly Carnet de Bal, is the most wonderfully, perfectly sensitive evocation of loss and of grief, and yet of celebration and beauty. Her artistry always transcends her emotion. It carries it and opens for us. So I'm delighted to set your words.
Can I say one thing?
Sure.
I have never written an email since Gerald sent my email to music without thinking twice where it might end up. So, not everyone who writes an email and has it stuck to music. I'm very happy.
And here is that email.
In the dead or nothing, not even the tombstones. We have lived through saints, saints, and cannot get them out of our minds. Never actually there to see the worm transfigured, and endless hours critical divisions of the heart, trying to understand. And that text about dividing soul from spirit, spirit. Critical memory, night falls but broken in the mind of natural man, in the extremes of the natural mind. Insects, insects. Frightened, I might remember that with this, what a fine as any, but just about done for. Broke through, fell through, dropped down, hearing sorrow, a sob of sand, that sound runs down in our own despite already having suffered with the world, and my soul beside me. Thank you very much for having us. Wonderful.
Oh.
Come on, one more.
Okay. So somebody said encore, we could do.
Well, a real encore means a repetition of what you just did. But let's see.
I want to hear. I want to hear this again.
Which one?
We are differently tuned.
Yeah, excuse me. That last set of pieces is by a brilliant poet who holds some esteemed chair at Brown University named Keith Waldrop. He's from Hutchinson, Kansas, and he became one of America's greatest poets. And he recently translated Baudelaire's *Flowers of Evil*, which is like translating the Bible. I mean, that's woo! Everybody who's anybody's gonna, yeah. And it was a huge success. So and you can hear from the words, he's very attuned to things musical. He's read philosophy. He's read everything, and he refers to Hegel and Kierkegaard and all these wonderful phrases and musical things. The name of that song cycle is room tone, and that's a term that editors of music recorders, somebody who records an orchestra in a hall, after they've recorded the orchestra, they have to record the room tone, absolute silence, so that when they're doing any editing, if there's any gap, they'll have that same background, that same ambient sound. So room tone is sort of what's around us, so he has this wonderful musical quality built into his words. So that's
I love to hear that.
it's wonderful. So which one are you going to do?
Well, we could do
Would you do
one from Room Tone, or we could do Carne de Bal.
I have a request.
Yes.
Ellen Hurry was, of course, in Spanish.
Yes.
Did you want to tell us a little bit about what the poem is
Hurry,
for us who are violently challenged, one voice?
I can't remember the whole poem offhand because I never remember my own things, but it's a poem that I wrote after my husband died, and an old friend of his who was an artist sent him a drawing, and it was on sort of with colored paper of a very large blonde nude to accompany him on his visit. And I burned it in a plate that we had received as a wedding gift that says, Salud, pestetas y amor, health, money, and love, and time to disfrutarlos, para enjoy it. So I burned it on that plate, and that poem is about that.
Gerald, that was particularly beautiful.
That's the story. In English.
You know, Ellen's done a lot of poems in Spanish, but
Yeah.
Ellen's been translated in Spanish, so you might want to revisit some.
He's got the book. He's got it. Don't nag, friend. I'm always pushing my things.
Do you feel like
Whatever you want.
Whatever you.
Requests.
I'd love to hear
At your
Carne de
service.
Bal.
Carne de Bal.
Are you? Did you do that?
Oh, this.
Well,
Sure.
that'd be lovely for us. I love that song.
Est-ce que vous avez Carne de Bal?
I do like my straight tone in the fog.
Oh, that
Was it
fall.
good?
Sure, I like
Really?
that. That's right, yeah.
It was like fall. Oh, God.
Oh, I've got one top. Give me a second.
Yeah, sure.
It's gotta be this one. That's this one.
In the old battle, the land
What about my portrait? A Virgil Thompson? Oh, I can't play that. I thank you for asking. I appreciate the honor. I don't play. I began my career as a pianist at Yale. In 1956, I went to Yale Music School as a piano player, and Myra Hess used to come and play concerts for us. She played chamber music concerts. You know, she's a big star back then. She was damed already and everything else. And in our small hall, seating 300 people at Yale, she would come and play the last 3 Beethoven sonatas, 108, 109, 110, 111. And it was just like, and anyway, so I haven't played a whole lot since then. Anyway, I don't play. And that portrait that Virgil Thompson wrote of me is very hard.
But you may just talk a little bit. Just tell people about that. It's interesting. It's very interesting.
Well,
Yeah.
our artist here, this is who we want to celebrate. Yes. What? Do you want to sit down? Tell about. I'm sorry. Please ask me that again. What did you say?
No, I just suggested that you can make this.
Talk about Virgil?
Yes, talk about Virgil.
About Virgil. Well,
oh,
yes. Do you want to sit or?
Yeah, we're gonna go back.
Yeah, I'm not going to. Yeah, I might go and rest.